Hi and welcome to day 20 of our 30 days of yoga challenge. So that's 2/3 of the way through. Wow. Yes, well done, very good. Keep on rolling out your mat with me. This is just really an amazing commitment, amazing achievement. So we're going to change our perspective today. So inversions, head below the heart, are an integral part of our yoga practice. So obviously you'll be familiar with headstands and shoulder stands and things like that. Being a short session, and obviously I can't physically see you. I'm not going to do headstand. It's very difficult to keep you safe, especially if especially as I can't see you. But we will. There are lots of different types of inversions. It doesn't have to be a headstand. Anything that brings your head below your heart, you're getting amazing benefits, really, physical benefits, emotional, mental benefits. You're getting obviously more oxygen and blood flow to the brain. You're rousing the nervous system, stimulating the lymphatic system, working the core in some of the postures, some of the inversions, and you myriad benefits. But I just want to kind of get on with it and let you feel them. So we have been doing inversions already throughout our 20 days. Downward facing dog is an inversion. For some people, even child's pose is an inversion. If you find your hips are quite high and your head is quite low, that can feel like an inversion as well. So we have been doing them already, just to bring your awareness to how they're fitting in within our practice. So we're going to come to cat-cow, so just start straight away with cat-cow and then move ourselves into dolphin, Advadanta Shirshasana. We've looked at obviously both of these. We're just going to warm up through the spine first of all with our cat-cow, Majorasana, Bhuttilasana. Breathing in, gazes forward, breathing out, tucking under, and doing the same a couple more times. I know I do include cat-cow a lot, but it's just a really nice gentle way to kind of start your practice and to start moving the spine. And it's a gentle movement that you're controlling how deep you go into, and we're getting the hips involved, the bottom and the hips involved as well. Draw the chin towards the chest and you really get that stretch in the back of the neck. And then just one more time. So breathing in, gaze forwards, breathing out, tucking under, and then coming back to neutral. And we're going to set up for dolphin. So we're going to bring the forearms down. You're going to clasp the hands. Your elbows are going to be forearm distance apart. So if you take hold of the elbows, inside of the elbows, that's the distance. Hands are clasped. We're going to keep the knees down. Actually no, we're going to bring the knees up so you'll feel it a little bit more. We're going to tuck the toes, but we're going to hold the pose actually rather than move into it. So if you pop the bottom and the hips up, the head is off the floor, okay? So for dolphin, the head is off the floor. You can feel the strength in the shoulders. You can, I'm sure you can already certainly feel that movement, that flow of the blood towards the head. Maybe you can feel that in your around your eyes, around the scalp. Really lift up through the bottom and the hips. Really press the chest, the belly back towards the thighs, like in downward facing dog. Let's just take a couple of breaths here. If it really doesn't feel good, you're just going to take the knees back down. Okay, and then take the knees down now. So let's just bring our bottoms back towards the heels. So keeping the same position, so not quite child's pose. Okay, release the hands. Now we'll untuck the toes and come slowly up to sitting up. Okay, just for a moment, and you're always moving nice and slowly. This would be a preparatory posture for Shirshasana, for headstand, because you will want to build the strength through the arms, the shoulders and the arms, in order to come up into headstand. We're going to have a look at Shashankasana now, so hare pose. Again, it is an inversion, head below the heart. Another one you can practice if you want to build towards headstand, and your head is actually going to touch down now. So you're going to take, come down onto the forehead, but roll forward. So you're lifting the bottom of the hips, roll onto that flat part of the top of your head. Okay, so where, you know, if you were working on your posture, balancing a bean bag or something on your head, that flat part where you could rest that, or a book, that sort of thing. So find that kind of sweet spot. So it's not the forehead, you roll forwards onto that flat part. So now you've got your head below your heart again, that same feeling, everything moving towards the head. Any, obviously, don't hold anything for too long. Contraindications, obviously, any issues with the eyes, the neck, the head in this sense. But you've got to trust your body. You've got to trust your intuition as well. So let's bring those knees in a little bit. Tuck the toes. The possibility to hold around the heels. Okay. So again, there's no crazy pressure into the head or the neck here. We're just gently resting. If it seems too far to hold the heels, just kind of hold around the back of the legs. Okay, if you can hold the heels, you're going to kind of feel that stretch across the upper back. So the heels are pushing one way, you're drawing forwards to feel that stretch. Let's just take a couple more breaths. So hare pose, H-A-R-E, Shashankasana. Okay. And then release the hold, hands by the sides, untuck those toes, and we're going to come back to child's pose. So you can have the arms by the side, okay, sides of the body. You can have the arms outstretched, or just rest the head onto the forearms. But just kind of let the energy kind of settle. Okay, and then coming just up for a moment. Okay, so this is just to get you kind of used to that feeling, and also the sensation of having, you know, of changing your perspective like this. We're going to come up into downward facing dog. So this is our an inversion that we're bringing in, I think, pretty much every single session. Tucking the toes, lifting up, so head again below the heart. You can still feel that flow of oxygen, blood towards the head, towards the brain, towards the eyes. The only difference is that there's no pressure onto the top of the head like with hare pose. You're still getting lots of benefits, so each sort of different inversion has kind of overlapping benefits. Obviously some will have a few more if you're a little bit more onto the head. Okay, and from downward facing dog, we're going to bring the feet to the hands, so step, step or jump. Hang a moment in Uttanasana, so your forward fold. Let's clasp the hands and open into the shoulders. So shoulders permitting, depending how your shoulders feel today. We're opening possibly into the shoulders. I give you the option sometimes with some particular movements, just so you don't have to feel that you have to follow everything blindly. You know, if it doesn't feel right in your body, you don't have to do. You can find kind of modifications so that you feel better in the poses. You're never forcing anything. Okay, taking the hands down, hands onto the hips. Actually, we're going to come through chair pose. So let's move those arms forward through chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, sitting back, so not too much into the knee, so not sitting forward, but sitting back. Okay, and we're just going to come through kind of vinyasa really. So we'll just bring the hands through, fold forwards. Let's come back, let's jump back, or step into your plank or modified. Lowering down, come through into Cobra Sphinx, upward facing dog, whichever feels better. Tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to set up from here into pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. So let's just take one leg out behind, swing through between the hands. Then we're going to swivel that back heel down and take the hands to the hips and come up. to standing. So this is our kind of start position to come into pyramid pose. If you're comfortable to come into reverse prayer, so this is the hands behind the back between the shoulder blades, you've got the option here. If your legs feel too wide, bring them in a bit. You can hold onto the inside of the elbows if that feels better. And then we're going to fold into our pyramid pose. So you might, actually let's take a couple of breaths here. So just folding a little, maybe to parallel. Comfortable position for the head and neck. Keep those elbows back. Breathe. Okay, and then we'll release the hands. Maybe they come down either side. Sorry, I've got hair, eating my own hair. Either side of the front foot, or maybe they're resting onto the front leg. So just folding forwards. This is an inversion, head below the heart again. So you can see how the inversions kind of sneak into our practice even without us kind of really focusing on them. We're going to shift that weight forwards and we're going to come into Urdhva Prasarita Ekavadasana. So this is standing splits, a kind of tripod, front foot, two hands touching the mat. Shift the weight into that front foot and then you're lifting that back leg. So you're just, you might just hover a little bit, you might go a little higher. You just see what you're comfortable to do. Okay, again, still in an inversion. And then just placing that leg down. Actually, let's come through another vinyasa. We'll take the hands to the, well, the hands are to the mat. Step back into a plank or modified plank position. Lower down, come through, cobra, sphinx up dog, pressing back, downward facing dog. And we're going to set up for the other side. So you're going to take the other leg out behind, swinging through between the hands. Back heel swivels down. Maybe you're scooting that foot in a little. And then hands to the hips to come up to standing. Oh dear, should put my hair up. Bringing your hands possibly to reverse prayer. So possibly prayer behind the back, or you're holding the inside of the elbows and coming forward. So again, lifting up. So you're not just kind of doing this, rolling, rounding. You're just kind of leading with the heart about parallel. Really beautiful hamstring stretch. You can feel that pretty intense into the back of the front leg. Comfortable holding of the head, the neck, so no strain here. Breathe, and then bring it into an inversion. So let the hands come down, so maybe to the floor, maybe to the low leg. It will feel a little bit like a balance if it's resting on the low leg. We can always bend a little to make it more accessible. So Parsvottanasana. Breathing. We're going to shift this into our standing splits. So weight into that front leg, front foot, hands to support. So kind of tripod position, lifting that back leg just to where it's available. Okay, we're just kind of lengthening out the inversion. Okay, breathing. Good. And then we'll take that foot back down. Actually, let's come back to plank for the moment. Then we're going to take the knees down and bring ourselves up or back to sitting. Okay, we're going to turn to face front. So come to the center of your mat. Okay, and then actually we're going to come onto our backs. We're going to have a look. So I'm going to give you the choice of Setu Bandhasana, which is bridge pose, a gentle bridge pose, or if you're familiar with shoulder stand, or if you want to have a go at shoulder stand, then you've got the option, so Salamba Savangasana, to come up. So we'll come down to laying and we'll look at bridge pose. You can see me, sorry. Bridge pose first of all. Just get myself comfortable, hands to the floor, and you're just kind of tilting the pelvis to come up into bridge, okay? So let's do this a couple of times, kind of rolling up, rolling down. So breathing in, rolling up, breathing out and rolling down. And keep those knees parallel if you can, as long as there's no discomfort. Doing the same again, so just kind of peeling off one vertebra at a time. So up into bridge, you should feel a nice release around the low back. This is an inversion, so you can see my head is lower than my heart, so I've still got some of the benefits moving towards my head, stimulating the thyroid gland as well. And then you can either stay with bridge pose, so you've got the option to come up into bridge, maybe clasp the hands underneath, maybe tuck those shoulders. So this, and you can see the difference, is definitely more of an inversion. I can definitely feel that same kind of feeling around the top of or around my eyes, around my forehead, of the kind of flow reversing. Okay, so if you want to stay here, take a few breaths and come out when you need to. If you want to come to a shoulder stand, I know it's a short practice, so it's a little bit of a short kind of a short introduction to it, but obviously if you're comfortable with it, come straight up. All you're doing is bringing your knees in towards your chest, and what you need to do is to take hold of, or place your hands to the low back, walk those kind of elbows in. Don't look at the screen now, so you can always look at this first and then rewind. Just if you're not familiar, you're walking the hands down the back to come to a straighter position. You might find if you're holding more around the low back, the hips, you'll be in a kind of jackknife position. But as you walk the hands lower down the back, further down the back, or close to the shoulder blades, you'll find you'll come a little bit straighter. Okay, do not move the head once you're in this position, and you can feel that pressure around the throat. So this is bringing in so many beautiful benefits, but you do need to be careful within the pose. Obviously, if it doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. You can always come to the wall, so you can walk your feet up the wall and use the wall as support to begin with. Okay. Just take a couple of breaths here. Again, if you're comfortable with the pose, you can kind of play with it a little. Maybe you want to come to halasana, to plow pose. Your feet will come back to touch the mat behind you. Maybe you don't have to do this. You can just stay in bridge, or you can come out of bridge if you need to. You can stay with your legs up in shoulder stand if you prefer. Just want to layer on a little for those of you who might want to have a go. This is not neck pose, this is shoulder stand. So that there's no pressure on the neck at all. It's just resting on the back of the shoulders. Okay, bringing the legs back if they're in halasana, coming back to shoulder stand. And then we're going to lower those knees towards the head, untuck the shoulders a little if they're tucked under. Nice and slow. Nice and slow and controlled. Keep the knees in towards the chest. If you're in bridge, then you're coming down nice and slow. Hips step lower onto the mat. Bring the knees to the chest, so we're all in the same position. Okay? You might want to just rock a little side to side to release the low back, just if you need it, if it feels good. Or you can circle the knees a little bit. Okay? And then we'll cross at the ankles, we'll bring ourselves up to sitting, or you're going to come onto your side first of all, if that feels better. Actually, let's come to seated fish. You can do laying down fish, but I'll do seated fish for today. We're just going to take the hands behind, maybe fingers pointing towards, maybe fingers away. Just kind of press into the mat, feet are touching, and just so you're taking everything back, or opening where we've been all compressed in bridge and in shoulder stand. We want to just open up the chest, open up the throat a little, not dropping the head, just kind of opening up a little, opening back a little, and breathing. Okay. Okay, and then coming just to sitting up. So I just want to, even though this was a shorter sequence and we included shoulder stand, we did do postures to open up around the shoulders first of all. So it's important that you make sure that you prep a little bit before. So make sure the body's warm, make sure you've kind of worked a little bit of strength and the flexibility around the shoulders. So well done. Again, if you've got time, take in the 5 or 7 minute Shavasana video. I know it's the same video, but it's just a nice, easy kind of body scan, breath focus. If this is all the time you've got, we'll close the practice together I'll just say thank you for joining me as always. I really appreciate you supporting me, you joining me, but also I'm so pleased that you're getting on board and getting consistent with your yoga practice. So namaste.